Because this isn't just another celebrity headline. This isn't just about visuals, dramas, or fan popularity anymore.
This is something bigger, something that goes beyond entertainment, something that made people on both sides of the strait stop and pay attention. At just 28 years old, Zhang Linghe is no longer just that handsome rising actor everyone used to talk about. He's stepping into a completely different space now, one where his voice, attitude, and influence actually matter.
And trust me, the way this story unfolded, it's a lot more interesting than you think.
So today we're going to break down everything. What happened, what he said, why the media reacted so strongly, and how this moment might completely reshape Zhang Linghe's career moving forward.
All right, let's get into it.
From rising star to national attention, what changed?
Let's rewind for a second. If you've been watching C-dramas recently, then you already know Zhang Linghe has been rising fast.
Tall, elegant, with that calm and composed aura, he quickly built a strong image through roles in historical and romantic dramas. Fans loved his visuals, his soft-spoken personality, and that gentle but distant charm that made him stand out. At first, his popularity followed a very familiar path: hit dramas, growing fan base, increasing brand endorsements, more leading roles. Pretty standard for a rising actor, right? But recently, something shifted. The statement that sparked everything. It all started with a public statement, something Zhang Linghe said during a recent appearance that at first glance didn't seem overly dramatic.
No shocking words, no controversy, no direct confrontation.
But somehow,
it resonated
deeply. While the exact phrasing may have varied depending on reports, the core message carried something that people didn't expect from a young actor: clarity, confidence, responsibility. Instead of sticking to safe, neutral answers, the kind many celebrities prefer, Zhang Linghe spoke in a way that felt intentional, measured, thoughtful, firm. And that's exactly what caught people off guard. Why did official media get involved? Now here's where things get interesting. Shortly after his statement began circulating online,
major Chinese state media outlets picked it up, and not just as a passing mention.
They highlighted it, analyzed it, amplified it.
In the world of entertainment, this kind of attention is significant, because official media doesn't use.
So when Zhang Linghe's words started appearing in these outlets, it signaled something important.
It meant that his statement wasn't just being seen as celebrity talk anymore.
It was being viewed as something with social relevance.
And once that happens, the entire narrative changes.
International media joins the conversation.
But it didn't stop there.
Soon after, foreign media outlets also began referencing the situation.
Now, this is where things get even more unusual, because it's one thing for domestic media to highlight a celebrity.
It's another thing entirely when international platforms start paying attention. So why did this happen? There are a few possible reasons.
First, Zhang Linghe represents a new generation of Chinese actors, one that is increasingly visible on a global scale.
Second, his statement touched on themes that go beyond entertainment, things like identity, perspective, and influence. And third,
timing. In today's media landscape, certain topics spread fast, especially when they connect to larger conversations.
Public reaction, respect, curiosity, and debate.
As expected, once the story gained traction, the public reaction exploded.
But what's interesting is that the response wasn't just emotional.
It was thoughtful. Many fans expressed pride. He's not just a pretty face anymore. This is the kind of actor the industry needs. He speaks with maturity beyond his age.
Others were more curious. What does this mean for his future roles? Is he shifting his image? Will this affect how the industry sees him?
And of course,
There were also debates.
because anytime a celebrity steps into a more serious space, opinions will always differ.
The risk of speaking up.
Now, here's something we need to talk about. Because moments like this, they're not always easy.
For actors, especially those still building their careers, speaking in a way that attracts. This level of attention comes with risks.
Why? Because the entertainment industry is delicate. Every word can be analyzed. Every statement can be interpreted differently. Every reaction can shape public perception.
So for Zhang Linghe to step into this moment,
Even if it wasn't intentionally controversial.
it still required confidence.
And that's exactly what people are noticing. A turning point in his career. This brings us to the big question.
Is this a turning point?
Because up until now, Zhang Linghe has been known primarily for his visuals, his on-screen chemistry, his growing list of dramas.
But after this moment, there's a possibility that people will start seeing him differently.
Not just as an actor, but as a voice. And in today's entertainment industry, that can be incredibly powerful. The across the strait impact.
One of the most talked about aspects of this situation is how his statement resonated across both sides of the strait.
Now, without going too deep into politics, what matters here is perception.
The fact that people from different perspectives are all paying attention to the same moment.
Means that his words carried a kind of unifying impact.
And for a 28-year-old actor,
That's not something you see every day. The new generation of actors is changing.
Zhang Linghe's situation also reflects something bigger happening in the industry. A shift.
A transition.
Today's younger actors are not just focusing on acting skills, visual appeal, fan engagement,
They're also becoming more aware of
their influence, their platform, their role in broader conversations.
and Zhang Linghe. He's now part of that shift.
But is this just the beginning?
Here's the thing. Moments like this don't exist in isolation. They create momentum. They open doors.
But they also create expectations. So moving forward, people will be watching.
What he says next. What projects he chooses. How he continues to shape his image. Because once you step into this kind of spotlight,
There's no going back.
and this is where things get even more interesting. Because in part 2, we're going to dive deeper into
The hidden implications behind the media coverage. How this might affect Zhang Linghe's future in CN, and whether this moment will elevate him or bring unexpected challenges.
Trust Me. The next part changes everything.
So, what do you think?
Did Zhang Linghe just take a bold step forward?
Or is this a risky move in such a competitive industry?